I'm Lee Abbott, and today we are going to be making Santa Barbara Surf and Turf, which is tri-tip with Santa Barbara spot prawns. And for that, we're going to do a Rosé Prosecco from Marinade. And the reason why is to go with both steak and seafood, and also because the bridge element is going to be a Rosé Ancho chili drizzle that's going to go all over the whole thing and tie those flavors together. So, sparkling Prosecco, perfect bridge. Oh God, that's fun. That is really good. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna do the dry rub for the tri-tip, and the other thing is I'm actually gonna use a little bit of that dry rub for the prawns as well, so the flavors are all tied together. Tri-tip is as Santa Barbara as it gets, and it to me is my favorite cut of beef. Tri-tip is what I was raised cooking. I learned to do this at my dad's side when I was a little boy. So, we got a dry rub for the tri-tip. We're gonna start with some coarse salt, some black pepper, some garlic powder, onion powder, a little cayenne for a little bit of heat, and we got some cumin. Love the flavor of cumin. That's going to just bring everything together. It's going to be a nice smoky flavor. And a little brown sugar. That's a little bit of a secret right there. A little brown sugar. This rub is going to generously coat the entire tri-tip about an hour before you cook it. You can even do it overnight and leave it in the fridge, but it'll get that meat out at least an hour, hour and a half before you're going to cook, so that it doesn't get shocked on a grill because it's cold. That's my dry rub. So part of this dry rub I'm going to be using for my shrimp, so I'm going to pull it now before I get it all covered in steak hands. And the turf of the surf, tri-tip right there. Perfect triangle. So dry rub. Generous, generous, generous. Really get this on here. Both sides. Tri-tip literally is one of the first things I ever learned to grill with my dad. This is what we do in Santa Barbara. We don't do the old school ribs from the South. We do tri-tip, which is amazing with seafood. Santa Barbara style to me is ranch and sea. It's harbor and vineyard. Now here's another trick. All this leftover seasoning on the cutting board, mop it up. Don't let it get away. Really rub that in there. Tri-tip seasoned. Let's let that baby rest for about an hour. Santa Barbara spot prawns, true delicacy. This is more like a langoustine, or it has a great lobster texture about it. This is something very specific to the region, and if you can find it, find it. I mean, that is like, it's like a poster child for what a prawn is supposed to look like. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, so for these guys, I'm doing a citrus marinade. Is some olive oil, then I'm gonna go lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice. That's going to bring a little bit more sweetness and not quite so tart. And a little over a tablespoon of the same rub we used on the steak. Keep in mind, we're going to be making a Rosé Ancho chili reduction. It's going to have a little bit of sweetness because it's a reduction of rosé wine and ancho chilies. So this right now is a little bit acidic and a little bit tart for me, but I'm going to be adding sugar later, so I'm balancing that. So we're good. I like it. Good stuff. Okay. Real simple. High-tech Ziploc bag. Shrimp in. Marinade in. Now, roll it. If you shake it, you're gonna break it. Okay, ready? Chill it till you grill it. Now, we're gonna make the ancho chili sauce with some rosé wine. So first, soak your ancho chilies in some hot water until they turn soft. Think about raisins being brought back to life. As soon as the stem pulls out without even trying, they're done. Then take the ancho chili, drop it in the blender. As soon as they're blended up lovely, pour in your rosé wine. Give it another blend. Now take the whole mix, put it back in the pot, and we're gonna reduce that down until it's about half the volume. Now that your rosé wine and your ancho chilies have reduced down by about half, we're going to put them back in the blender, and we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of champagne vinegar, some honey, and then we're going to also put some salt and pepper. Once that is blended up really beautifully, go ahead and add some olive oil, drizzle that in, and that's going to emulsify and make this whole thing really sexy and soft. Grilling. I like to use a charcoal grill, and I really love to have red oak on the coals. Red oak, it really is the most traditional flavor here in Santa Barbara. Grill over medium-high for about 8 minutes, and then flip for another 8. And now from here, you're gonna be judging by the thickness of your steak. You can flip back for 4, flip back for 4, but you're gonna take it down to about 125 to 130 degrees on a thermometer, and that's gonna give you a nice medium rare in the middle. When you pull your tri-tip to rest, Now's the time to drop your prawns on there. These are gonna go very fast. Don't overcook them. You're really gonna do about a minute a side, just enough to kind of see the outside start to get tight and turn nice bright orange and pull them. Trust me, these don't wanna be overcooked. All right, set the dish up. We're gonna go for some nice bright arugula. Really easy to do. Lemon juice. Squeeze. A little bright. Olive oil. Salt. A little pepper. That's it. Gonna fluff that up a little bit. Tri-tip is rested. We're gonna cut across the grain. Nice and medium rare. Tri-tip is so great because the middle will be medium rare and the end tips will be for your medium prawns. But who's gonna eat tri-tip at medium? Not me. Oh, yeah, gotta have it. Oh my God. Oh yeah. For plating, start with a nice light bed of the dressed arugula, some of this gorgeous tri-tip, these big, beautiful Santa Barbara spot prawns, Rosé, Ancho chili, reduction sauce. Just a nice, all over the top of that. Santa Barbara style surf and turf. And to go with that, we're gonna do a nice Alta Neve Rosé Prosecco.